right. Rakata Wa Shalom Mizzi. Shabbat Shalom. This is Akshir Yeshu, which means that a remnant shall return, or remnant shall be left. And with the Yakiam Yahawada,
Yahweh, brother Yahweh. Shalom.
Yahawada. And we're going to bring a lesson to you that's going to be called a nation of all other nations. Right? This is my first time going live, so bear with me. Praying that this will also be a blessing. So, why a nation above all other nations? In this Western Christianized world that we live in, they have taught us wrong. I think they're playing on these pages. They have been teaching us wrong. And one of the things that they have been teaching us is that we are all created equal, that we are all the same people. And I find that funny, especially here in America, for them to say that we are all created equal and that we are all the same people, especially seeing how they have treated the so-called African American Negro here in America. Not one time in America's history where we could look back and say that the so-called African American Negro was treated equal with the other nations. None of them. And so for them to say that we are created equal, that we are all the same people, that sounds like crafty counsel. What would you say?
Yeah, I agree.
It sounds like crafty counsel. It sounds like to me that it's something that they know that they don't want to be known, right? The same book that the Most High deal with his people with is the same book that the wicked get their information from as well. So the biggest kept secret in all Earth's history is that we are the children of Israel. We are the seed of Jacob, and they know this. They have spent millions of dollars to keep this information from us. They subliminally tell us who we are in their movies, their TV shows, and books that they write. But because they keep our minds so blinded that when we watch these movies, when we watch these TV shows, we look at them more for entertainment purposes, right? I was talking to a brother as we get into this lesson, a brother of mine that is real dear to me, trying to explain to him that we are the people of the book and that salvation comes through us and us alone. Well, Christianity is taking the place of Israel in this earth. Christianity say that salvation comes through them. I used to believe that. You used to believe that? I used to believe that. Come to find out, when Yeshua told the lady at the well that salvation is of the Hebrew, he actually meant that. So the brother of mine, he said, it's hard for me to believe. Now, listen to this. This is how brainwashed we are as a people. He said, it's hard for me to believe that God would have one group of people that is above everybody else. And this is the brother that I'm talking to, right? He said, and especially the black man. That's what he said. Would you call that brainwash?
Yeah, I was just going to say program.
That's program. Yeah. That's exactly what that is. I can't see him having one group of people over everybody, and especially the black man. So we're going to go right to our first precept. It's going to be Deuteronomy chapter 32. We're going to read verses 8 through 9. Again, the name of this lesson is A Nation Above All Other Nations. Deuteronomy chapter 32, verse 8 through 9.
When the Most High divided to the nations their inheritance, when he separated the sons of Adam, He set the bounds of the people according to the number of the children of Israel. For the Lord's portion is his people. Jacob is the lot of his inheritance.
Now, this is something that pastors fail to explain. That the Lord's portion is his people, and Jacob is the lot of his inheritance. So what just happened here in Deuteronomy? He divided the nations their inheritance. Every nation got their own lot of land. That's what that's saying. Ham got the hot part. Shem got the part that was neither hot or cold, but it was a perfect blend, according to the books of Jubilees. Japheth, they got the part that was cold. So when he divided the nations their inheritance and he separated the sons of Adam, he set bounds of the people according to the number of the children of Israel. So everybody can't belong to the Most High, because if everybody belonged to the Most High, that's what that scripture would have said. But instead, the scripture says, for the Lord's portion, or a highest portion, is his people. Jacob is the lot of his inheritance. Okay? So this precept that with Deuteronomy chapter 7, let's get verse 6. Deuteronomy 7 and verse 6.
Deuteronomy 7 and 6. For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God. The Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people unto him, above all people that are upon the face of the earth.
So that takes out the argument that there can't be a people above all other people. For the Most High himself said it in Deuteronomy, in the scripture. So I'm going to be like Paul, and I'm going to let the Most High be true and every man alike, right? So what Christianity has done is they have taken the book that belonged to the Hebrews, and they have made this book available for everybody, when this is not everybody's book. This is not a Christian book. This is not a European's book. This is not an African book. This is a book that belongs to the Hebrew Israelites. It's not an Arab book. They have their book. It's called the Quran, right? So he says, you are a holy people unto Ahayah power. Ahayah power has chosen thee to be a special people unto himself, above all people. Which means that if we are above all people, that means that there is a nation that is above all nations. Wouldn't you agree, Brother Yahweh? Above all people that are upon the face of the earth. Now, with great, how did they say it? With great, with a great title such as that comes a great responsibility as well. It's a saying, I can't remember how they say it, but we got a lot of power. And we got the power from the power, which is the Most High. So a great responsibility was supposed to come with that. Now I'm gonna get DV out for the lesson for a minute. Let's go to Isaiah chapter 5 right quick, Brother Yahweh. Now, we see that he has chosen Jacob from all of the other nations. He said that we are supposed to be holy. And he also said that we are a special people above all people that are upon the face of the earth, right? So with that came a great responsibility. And we're going to get into this in this lesson as well, how we messed that off. But let's read verses 1 and 2 here in Isaiah chapter 5.
Isaiah chapter 5, verse 1. Now will I sing to my well-beloved a song of my beloved touching his vineyard. My well-beloved hath a vineyard in a very fruitful hill.
So Jerusalem is a hill. Remember we talked about that, right? Jerusalem is a hill. And it's set up high so that all the nations could see us. So if he chose us, he gave us his law according to Amos chapter 3. So he says that it's set up on a hill so that all the world could see righteousness. We have a righteous power. There is no power like a higher. Okay? Keep reading.
And he fenced it and gathered out the stones thereof and planted it with the vine and built a tower in the midst of it and also made a wine press therein.
So he fenced it, right? This city or this grape that he held to himself. He gathered out the stones thereof. That would be the rebellious people. When we came out of Egypt, it's sad to say, but only 2 out of the 600,000 that came out of Egypt only made it into the promised land, right? So he took the stones out, those that was disobedient, those that was hard-headed. He took them out and he built a tower to protect this nation that he called out from all other nations. And he said he made a wine press thereof. When you make a wine press, that means it's going to give wine. And when you serve wine for all that is in the house. Am I right?
Right.
So Israel was supposed to serve all, okay? With this wine press. Keep reading, brother.
And he looked that it should bring forth grapes, and it brought forth wild grapes.
Now that was the problem. He chose us. He set us above all nations. He protected us. He took away the stones that was amongst us. And when he came to look for grapes, what did he find, brother?
Wild grapes.
He found wild grapes. In other words, we was acting just like all the other nations. We was doing the same thing that the other nations was doing. We was not doing what our responsibility was supposed to be, right?
Explain well beloved for those that's kind of confused with that. Who is well beloved?
Israel is well beloved. Israel and Jerusalem is well beloved. And why do I say Jerusalem? Let's go to Isaiah chapter 1. Read verse 1, brother.
Isaiah 1:1.
And this is going to prove also that this Bible is not for everybody. I'm sorry. We have been mistaught in believing that this Bible is for everybody. It's not, okay? Isaiah 1:1.
The vision of Isaiah, the son of Amoz, which he saw concerning Judah.
Which he saw concerning who?
Judah.
Judah, which is the southern tribe, because the northern tribe had already been taken away, which is Israel. So this prophecy that Isaiah now is doing, it is concerning Judah. Judah still has a chance at this moment to get it right, to do what they are supposed to do. You done seen what happened to the northern tribe. They've been taken away by the Assyrians. If you don't act right, then the Babylonians are going to come in here and do the same thing to you. So this part of the book is not to Christians. I don't care how many times your pastor say to the church. No, he's not talking to you. He's talking to Judah and who, brother?
And Jerusalem.
And Jerusalem. Everything that the Most High has that belongs to him, it is holy. The 7-day Sabbath, it's holy. He set it apart. The 12 sons of Jacob, they are holy. They are all set apart. The Levites, they were holy. They were set apart. Judah, they are holy. They are set apart. Jerusalem is holy. It's set apart. Mount Zion is holy. It is set apart. He has never nowhere in this book set apart a Christian. I'm sorry. Have you read it? I have not read it. There's no Christian that's set apart. Wow. This book starts with Adam. Then all the other nations didn't do what they were supposed to do. They picked out a grape that belonged to the children of Israel. And it started with them, and this book ended with them. Okay?
Mm-hmm. I gotta highlight this. I like that. Keep going.
Yes, sir.
I don't want to forget that. Keep going.
So, as we see this, as I was trying to explain, that this book has absolutely nothing to do with Christians. And then they are misleading us in believing that this Christianity on the Western coast can save us when it can't. The Most High gave his law to Israel, that Israel may give his law to the world to reconcile us back to him. Okay? So now that Brother Yahweh is back, we're going to continue with the lesson, and I apologize for getting off, but let's keep this thing going. We did read Deuteronomy 7 and 6, right, bro?
Yeah,
we read it.
Yeah, we read this.
Okay, let's go to Exodus chapter 19. Let's read verse 5. Now, the promise to the chosen nation. He didn't just choose us, but he chose us and he gave us a promise as well.
Exodus 19.
Exodus 19 and verse 5.
Now therefore, if ye will obey my voice indeed and keep my covenant, then ye shall be a peculiar treasure unto me above all people, for all the earth is mine.
All the earth belongs to the Most High. And if he chose us to be his peculiar people, then that means that we belong to him as well. I don't have or do have, is right? Have it already belongs to him. So he said, I'm not going to just give you everything that I have. He says, now therefore, if you will what, Brother Yahweh?
Now therefore, if you will obey my voice.
Obey my voice. If you obey my voice and keep my
covenant,
then you shall be a what?
Peculiar treasure.
A peculiar treasure. You're going to look a little weird in this world that you're living in, but that's all right. What's going to make it weird is that you're going to be living in righteousness and everybody else is doing what they need to do. When you go into Leviticus chapter 20, he gives us a whole stack of laws of how to live our life, right? A lot of those are sexual immorality laws that the other nations was doing. He said, don't do any of these things because this is what the other nations are doing. So these are the way that they was living their life. So Ahia came and he gave us righteous living. And he said, as long as you obey my voice and keep my covenant, you should be a peculiar treasure unto me. But the promise is that you will be above all people. So here come America. We're all created equal. We're all the same. That's not true. We are not all created equal. We are not all the same. The Most High chose us to be his, which made us holy. Now, what if the Most High's chosen did not obey? Let's go to Leviticus chapter 26, verse 14 through 17. So if we obeyed his voice and kept his covenant, we will be a peculiar treasure, and we will be above all people of the earth. Now, if we don't obey, Leviticus chapter 26, 14 through 17.
But if you will not hearken unto me and will not do all these commandments and despise my, or if your soul abhor my judgments, so that ye will not do all my commandments, but that ye break my covenant.
Okay.
I also will do this unto you.
So he's telling you, okay, he's giving you warning. There's always a warning before the destruction. And I like this because he said a whole lot of more words than he did in
the Exodus. Yeah.
He's giving us a whole lot of warning here, right? A whole lot of warning. He said, if you don't hearken, if you don't do my commandments, if you despise my judgment, if you abhor my judgment, and if you break my covenant. If you break the covenant that you're going in with me. Continue to read it, brother.
I will also do this unto you. I will even appoint over you terror, consumption, and the burning ague.
A burning ague. That's like the measles or something. That's like a a disease that's within the skin.
Shall consume the eyes and cause sorrow, and ye shall sow your seed in vain.
Okay.
For your enemies shall eat it.
So any kind of work that you do, anything that you put your hand to do to make yourself better, it's going to be in vain, because your enemy is going to eat it up. Okay. You're going to have consumption. You're going to be sick. You're going to be terrified. You know, all of these things. Because you got to remember, back in Exodus, he said, all the earth is mine. So he can either give you everything or he can take everything away from you, right? So he's telling you, I'm offering you, which is the same thing Yeshua said in John. I come to bring you life and bring it to you more abundant. That's what I come to do. So that's the same thing that the Father telling our forefathers in Exodus and in Leviticus here. While we are in the wilderness, look at it. Say, the world is yours if you obey me. But if you don't obey me, all of these things are going to come upon you. Continue reading, brother.
And I will set my face against you, and ye shall be slain before your enemies. They that hate you shall reign over you, and ye shall flee when none pursue it.
And the same people that hate us is reigning over us. It's the same people that tells us that we are all created equal. Now, if we are all created equal, you tell me, why did they bomb Tulsa, Oklahoma? If we are all created equal, why is there such thing as Jim Crow laws? If we are all created equal, why are we still not at this moment in 2018 consistent of the United States? But they want to tell you that all men are created equal.
Can I add in that?
Yes, sir.
Understand this. For those of you Christians that's watching this for the first time, in your mind, you're saying, oh, that's done away with. But he's using history to prove that it affects us even to this day. Now, we wasn't equal until 1964 with the Civil Rights Bill.
So-called.
Right. And before then, during slavery, we were never equal. We were always monkeys and apes, and they had zoos to prove it, having us in these zoos. After slavery, we were not equal because they had it in the Constitution that we were 3/5 of being human. Up until 1964, and that's when they started saying that we were equal, because we had started waking up. We were starting to read and understand who we were in this book. And here comes this equal stuff now. And every 10 to 20 years, every generation, it broadens. Now, who's following behind us? The gay rights. Now they stepping in.
Transgenders.
Yes.
Transsexuals and every other thing else. You know, and it's sad. And what Brother Yahweh is talking about is so very true. But I'm on it because when I'm saying the equal, I'm Lincoln during the Civil War. When we were still slaves, he had the audacity to say that we are all created equal. You see?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but when he was talking about the whites that came over here from England, because we were still slaves and he had slaves.
Exactly.
And when he so-called freed slaves, which he didn't,
right.
He just happened to be the president. He wrote a letter, and he gave a speech in Virginia telling the white women after slavery to not mix with the black slaves.
That's right.
See, so we wasn't even equal under Abraham. He was just following his Illuminati law.
That's right. Well, he made a comment, just veering off a little bit. We're going to get right back to it. But he made a comment, Abraham Lincoln. He said that if I could save this nation without freeing one slave, I would. So, you know, we pay attention to and that's what Christianity has done. Christianity has taken away our enemy. We don't know who our enemy is no more. And if you don't know who your enemy is, you cannot effectively fight, bro. Christianity has made it come in that we, like Rodney King, we just all get along. When we're trying to get along, but they're not trying to get along with us, bro, by no stretch of the imagination, all right? So as far as these other nations, now that we have established that the Most High's portion is Jacob, and that he is promising them that if you keep my laws and my statutes, I will make you above all nations. We have also break his covenant, terrified, you're going to be full of diseases, and a nation that hates you is going to reign over you. Let's talk about these other nations now. Let's go to 2 Ezra. Let's go to the Apocrypha. For those of you who don't know what the Apocrypha is, it is 15 books that they have taken out of the King James Version Bible. It is supposed to be there. And once you go into this book, you will see why they took this book out. Okay? This book here is powerful. This is probably one of the best books that you can read to give you a Grecian history and the Seleucid and Hellenization of what they was trying to do to the Most High's people. And so we're going to go here to 2 Ezra during the same time of the prophet Jeremiah, and we're going to see what the Most High think of the other nations. And I'm going to explain to you why he says what he says. 2 Ezra chapter 6 and verse 56.
As for the other people, which also come of Adam, thou hast said that they are nothing, but be like unto spittle.
That's right.
And has likened an abundance, or the abundance of them, unto a drop that falleth from a vessel.
Now, this scripture here contradicts anything that you will ever hear in any church. Okay? It tells you to guide everybody, right? When you read 2 Ezra 6 and 56, it tells you that the other people of Adam, the other nations, they are like spittle to him. That's what they're like. They are like spittle to him.
What is spittle?
Spit. That's what spittle is. It's spit. And has likened the abundance of them unto a drop that falleth from a vessel. Now, the reason why he said that, if you was to go into hold on 1 second, let me show you something. Brother Yahweh, I had the light. You was to go into your testament of the 12 patriarchs, you will see that all of the other nations, they had an opportunity to choose the Most High Ahai, the creator of the heaven and the earth. It's in your 12 patriarchs, okay? And they chose not to, brother. They chose the earth, okay? Did that, Michael went to Abraham, which is our father. All praises. God, you died for that. And he went to Abraham and he asked brother Abraham, he said, who you going to choose? And Abraham said, I'm going to choose the God from his womb, right? That created the heavens and the earth. And because of that, this is why you asked to the Most High, the creator, and they chose their other gods. And this is why when you read Leviticus chapter 20, which is a very vital chapter to read, because when you read Leviticus 20, you will see that everything that the Most High told us not to do, that the other nations was doing then, guess what? They're doing them now. They're doing them now. They'll become lovers of themselves, right? They you see what they sleeping with their in-laws and family members. These are all the things that they were doing then that they do now. So if the other nations were behaving themselves like that, this being a holy God, how can he say that he loves them? They are a spittle, man. Look at how they carry themselves. You see? That's why he created his own. That's why he created.
Pay attention when he say other gods. They chose their God. Because today they're teaching there's only one God.
Oh, let's get that. It's going to be in Psalms 96, I believe. Let me make sure. Let's get that.
86.
96. I'm not 100% sure, but I'll let you know.
Yeah, they teach today that all these different names leads to one God. You know who got your friendly neighborhood, Oprah Winfrey.
96 and 5.
96 and 5.
Mm-hmm.
For all the gods of the nations are idols,
Mm-hmm.
but the Lord made the heavens.
That's right. So all the gods of the nations. So all the nations, they have their God. Matter of fact, let's get that as well. Will, it's okay. Veer off a little bit. We want to make it plain. Let's go to Sirach. Let's go to Sirach, which is Ecclesiasticus in the Apocrypha. Let's go to Sirach chapter 27. Verse 27. Hold on. Can't understand my writing. It's not chapter 27.
For all the gods, that God has an S.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
That there are many gods.
That's right.
And when we were in slavery, they beat us to serve another God, which made us veer off from our God, which is the higher the God of the Hebrews. And that's why a lot of you call on this Jesus character. Because that was beaten into us. There are many gods. The Arabs, Chinese have their Buddha. I think it was 70 when we left Babylon, the Tower of Babel.
Right.
When he changed the language.
Where is that at? Bounds. I can't understand my writing, brother. We'll find that later. Go ahead. Go ahead. Sorry about that. We'll find that later. I can't understand what I'm looking for right there. I don't know what I wrote.
July 21.
Is that a one?
Mm-hmm.
Is that a one? Mm-hmm. No, that's not a one. 20.
No verse.
We will find it. I'm not going to tarry on it right now.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll find it. Okay. So we see this is what happened with the people of the other nations. So this is why the Most High say they are as spittle to him. And as we pointed out as well in Psalms 96, and I wanted to bring out, I can't find it. It's in Sirach somewhere. It might be in this lesson. But I wanted to pull out in Deuteronomy 32, where he said, according to the nations, that these bounds were actually gods. That's actually what they were. Okay. And I'm going to try to find that before we get out of this lesson, but I don't want to deal with it too long right now. So there is no such thing as religion or race. Okay. Religion is a form of control, just like slavery was. They realized that if we give them something to believe in outside of, then we'll be better. And they also operate us. This Bible don't talk about religion, neither do it talk about races. This Bible talk about nations. That's what it talks about. We are all nations of people. Noah got on a boat with his son Shem, which is the father of a nation, with his brother Ham, which is the father of nations, and with their brother Shem, which is also father of nations. No races of people. Okay? So let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 14. And let's read verse 2. Yeah. And you see, you're going to that the Most High is in this to let us know that there is really a such thing as a people that is above all people. And I'm going to put you in on a secret that the leaders of these worlds, they know exactly who we are. They have spent all this time telling us that we are nothing, that we are nobody, when they know that we are above all nations. They know who we are, brother Yahweh. Deuteronomy chapter 14 and verse 2.
For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God, and the Lord hath chosen thee to be a peculiar people
Mhm.
unto himself, above all the nations that are upon the earth.
The word holy simply means set apart. That's what it means. Apart. If I was to buy a large pizza for two people, right? Well, I'm gonna set apart my portion. That belongs to me. So what Ahaya is saying, look, I'm gonna call you holy because you belong to me, and I know that I'm holy. So if you belong to me, therefore you also are holy. Which means that you can't do what everybody else is doing. You can't act like everybody else is acting. Neither can you eat foods else or eat. You are holy, okay? Peculiar. And you are above all nations that are upon the earth. Now, scripture tells us that we can identify the chosen by signs in these last days, all right? Let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 28 and 37. First time you have ever, you so-called African American Negro is the seed of Jacob. I want you to pay attention to these verses that we're about to bring out. Now, I want you to ask yourself the question: who else can fit these descriptions out of all the people that's on the earth? Who else can fit the descriptions that we're about to go through right now? Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 37.
And thou shalt astonish me,
right?
And a byword among all
some nations,
among all nations.
All nations. There is not a nation on earth that do not call the so-called African American Negro a nigger. They all call us niggers. Italians have a whole lot of African blood in them. But you tell an Italian that he got African blood in him, he'll cut you, right? Nations that know that they got African blood in them, they try to run away from it. Have you seen a picture of Sammy Sosa lately? When you don't know who you are, you try to run away from the very thing that is a blessing in you. This melanin that runs through our body was what God gave us, but it hurts to us towards all the nations. What else to say, brother?
Whether the Lord shall lead thee.
He has led us into the four corners of the earth. Yeah, I know there's a lot of people that don't believe that the choice is correct, but I'm one of the few that do believe. Because you got to see how people are being treated.
Yeah.
You got to understand all got to the places where they're at and listen to the language speak. They speak in Espanol over in Cuba. They speak in Espanol over in Puerto Rico. They speak in Espanol over in Dominican Republic, which tells me that the Spanish captured them, right? They speak in French in Haiti, which tells me that the European French captured the same way we're speaking in America, captured us. So wherever the Most High scattered you, you are going to be an astonishment and a byword and a proverb amongst all the nations. Let's get Deuteronomy chapter 4 and verse 27. Sir. Like I say, ask yourself, who else fit these descriptions?
And the Lord shall scatter you among the nations, you shall be left few and none among the heathen. The Lord shall lead you.
Now, he didn't say that you are going to be few in number as a people. He said that you will be few in numbers amongst the nations that he scattered you. They say, now I don't really, but they say the so-called African American Negro makes up 14% of the population here. Now I'm gonna tell you why I don't believe those numbers. Here we are here in Houston, Texas, right? Say third ward, fifth wards are huge. Are they huge?
Yeah.
Homestead and Acres homes there are huge.
Right.
Then you got other areas that are fully populated with nothing but Negroes in them, and they are huge. So you take a city the size of Houston, then you got cities like Dallas and New York and LA and Chicago and my all of these, and every last one of them got ghettos. And you telling me that we only make up 14% of the population here? I don't believe it. But we are still considered what? A minority. The scripture says that you number the heathens where you are going to be scattered. Among the heathens. Brother Yahweh, did you know that the European white people pay white people to go into countries like Cuba and Puerto Rico to white? Did you know that? They pay white people to go into those countries to bleach it out because they had too many black African slaves running around there. So that's why when you look at light-skinned Mexicans and light-skinned Puerto Ricans and stuff like that, that's because of crafty cancer, bro. And Bible is telling you that these things would happen to us, right?
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of that happened when they took the nation. They killed off they killed off all the elders, raped a lot of the
that's right.
young
that's right.
people of color that were, I say, similar. They were real young. And that's how you got a lot of nations that were dark melanin.
That's right. That's right. That's right. So when I look at the chart, and I'm going to tell you this is how I look at the chart, I don't look at all Mexicans as being from Issachar. I don't. Because you got Edom that's over there in Mexico as well. I don't look at all Puerto Ricans as being Manasseh or Ephraim. Because you got Edom over there as well. You see what I'm saying? Just like we can't say that Africans is Judah. I eat them over here. See? So wherever they put their slaves at, they follow right behind them. So you got to be careful on who you call Issachar, who you call Manasseh and Ephraim, and all of these other. You got to be careful on that. But the chart is real. The chart is real. Let's go back to Deuteronomy chapter 28. And let's go to verse 6. You done ask yourself who fit these curses. Now, there's only one nation that can fit this curse here.
Deuteronomy 28.
68.
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships. By the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again.
Right.
And there you shall be sold unto your enemy for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you.
All right. Now, I'm going to bring you into Egypt. Egypt is Mizraim, which means bondage, slavery. Never have we read of anybody, any of our patriarchs, even Yeshua himself, whom the word, never we read taking a shit in this Bible. Okay? So, how you say, I'm going to bring thee into bondage again. How did he say he's going to bring us into bondage, Brother Yahweh?
By ships.
By ships. By ships. They can hide a lot of stuff, but one thing that they have not hid, we all know, Christian or not, whether you are waking up to the truth or not, or whether you just somebody out there doing your own thing, you know that the only way that we got over here was by way of ships.
And understand this Egypt. What it means by Egypt for those of you that are scratching your head. Exodus 21, 2 and 3. And God spake all these words, saying, I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage.
That's right. That's what Egypt, the house is. So in our reality right now, we're still in Egypt. We are in spiritual Egypt because we are still in the house of bondage. So he also said, you got something else you want to add, brother?
Yeah, go ahead. You read my mind.
Yeah, go ahead.
This is why we don't own anything. You know, because we were brought over here as slave bondage and they stole this land. So you don't see a lot of black banks or black-owned hospitals or and what's that in Chicago, the stock market. We own none of that. All of these, we own nothing because we're under bondage.
That's right. We got others amongst us that they have set up.
They own bondage too.
They in bondage too. That's right. I mean, you got to look at Oprah Winfrey, as black as she is, saying that she's from the south of Mississippi. You would think that Oprah would have a soft heart towards her people. Now, this is a billionaire. Instead of her building schools in America for her people, she'll go overseas and build them over there. Why is that?
Because her money is controlled.
That's right. Thank you, brother. Thank you, brother. She can't.
Yeah, that's controlled money.
And there is no build economy within an economy for the so-called African American Negro in this country. It is not going to happen.
They've been crying that for years.
They've been crying it for years. It's not going to happen. So we see this bondage, and we went into bondage by way of ships. By way thereof I spake unto thee, and he says that you will see it no more, but not see your land. Give me Jeremiah 4. Hold that right where you at, but give me Jeremiah 17 and 4. He said that you will see it no more, meaning you will not see your land anymore. You're not going to know where you are from anymore. That's what he's telling you. You're going to be so gullible that you're going to take the bywords and the proverbs that they call you be cool with that. They can grow and you're going to be cool with that because Jeremiah 17 and 4 says what?
And thou even thyself shall continue.
This continue means cut off.
From that I gave thee.
That, wait a minute, Deuteronomy 32 said that he chose us, right?
Right.
So he gave us the heritage to be called the children of Israel, right? But because of our disobedience, he said that I am going to do what again?
And thou hast even thyself that discontinue from thine heritage that I gave thee, and I will cause thee to serve thine enemy.
What's happening? We have been cut off from our heritage. We don't know who we are. And because we don't know who we are, we will accept whatever they call us.
And this proves that what was said in the Old Testament, way with.
Thank you, brother.
Because we're in the New Testament.
We're in the New Testament.
Saying the same thing in the Old Testament.
That's right. All praises to a higher, right? We will know more. We don't know where we from, man. And I find it real ironic. I don't know if you've been keeping up with the news or not, brother Yahweh, but Trump done signed an HR 1242, which is a commemorative of the so-called African-American slave here in America for 400 years, right? And got Ghana or Ghana, I get them confused, and I just learned that there are two different places. But dude, we've been on years. They said that you can come home. You can come on back. Wait a minute now. It got me scratching my head.
Hey, my antennas go up.
Because as long as we've been know, you ain't nobody ever said we belong to them. Nobody ever said, hey, we gonna come get you. Same time, an HR 1242 is signed, which is a commemorative to the so-called African-American slave and 400 years of service here in this country. The president of God say, come home? Nah. I'm not falling for the banana in the tail.
And the thing they came up with that, remember the promises that they made to the Gadites.
That's right.
Gad allowed them to come in.
That's right.
For 25 years, they showed them people how to operate this land, how to build, and all of a sudden, the Caucasian race turned against Gad. And now they call the North American Indians. And now they have a celebration every year for the killing and the slaughter of millions.
That's coming up
of Native North American Indians.
And many of our blind brothers and sisters that's ignorant, and I'm not saying that mean by no stretch of the imagination, because ignorant only means you don't know. You are sit down with your families at the table and eat turkey and dressing. Talking about happy Thanksgiving, when it's one of the most bloodiest, most violent days ever been celebrated. Every time they sit down and they feast. You know where soccer came from, don't you?
Soccer, yeah. When they cut the head of the stuff the head, and they would take the head and they would kick it to each other. And
we're talking about eating. We're talking about eating.
The Englishmen that came over here.
So you're going to go back in the slave. You're going to be your heritage gave us that we read. You're not going to see your land anymore, and there you should be sold to your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen. And it also says that no man shall buy you. No man shall buy you, right? This is a different kind of bondage, Brother Yahweh. What I mean by that is because if you were my brother in the days of the Old Testament, a stranger made you a slave, able to buy you from him. I was able to buy. Now you become my servant, not my bond servant, though, but you will become my servant. You see? So he's telling you that if you don't owe, you're going to be servant, which means work for free by your enemy. Okay? So let's prove that with Leviticus chapter 25 and verse 44, brother. Leviticus 25 and verse 44.
Both thy bondmen and thy bondmaids, which thou shalt have, shall be of the heathen that are round about you. Of them shall ye buy bondmen and bondmaids.
So you're able to buy a bond or bond. When we came in America, wasn't nobody able to buy us out, bro. The only people that was buying us was the slave owners. That's it. You got something else you want to add, brother?
No, I was just thinking about what you just said.
Did it make sense to you?
Yeah.
Let's get through these, man. We got quite a few of them. Okay. So as a so-called African-American Negro, you have not me. I used to ask that a lot.
Yeah.
Why me? Why are we going through Psalms chapter 3 and verse 2? Of these scriptures, man.
Yeah, and the scriptures, I'm gonna tell you something. When you wake up and understand who you are, you have more love for the scriptures than you did as a Christian.
Yes, sir.
Because you reading these scriptures, knowing are the people of this book, not in them.
Right.
It's I now.
That's right. That's right. Amen. Amos chapter 3 and verse 2.
Amos 3 and 2.
Yes, sir.
You only have I known of all the families of the earth.
Uh-huh.
Therefore is you for your iniquity.
Kids. My kids can get in trouble with Brother Yahweh kids, but I'm only going to punish my kids because they are my kids. My kids know how to act. They know what my rules are. They know what I told them to do and what not to do. You see? So the other nations, don't get me wrong. When you go into the prophets of Zechariah, Zephaniah, when you go into your two Ezras, when you go into the book of Revelation, the other nations is going to get a hammer. They're not going to get away with it. Right now, this is play about firing our butts in front of everyone. That's what it is. When you go to the gas station and you see a brother that ain't got no job, that got on pants that he done had on for 3 weeks, and he can't get a job, want to do is clean for 50. That's a curse. That's a curse. When you see a brother who is highly educated, right, and can't get nowhere in life, that's a curse.
Let me add to that curse, because somebody out there is saying, oh, it's white people out there on the corners too.
Oh man,
that's not a curse, that's a choice.
That's thank you.
That is a choice. That is not a curse.
They messed up their white privilege card.
They can go to any of their own and get off the street.
That's right.
But ask the black person that's on the street to go to let's say a white owned to help them come and slam the door.
That's right. That's a huge difference.
We catch hell, even though you see black and white in the same position. We catch more hell than white folks.
That's right. My wife is in human resources, and they constantly have to hire brothers and sisters. They don't want they hiring too many. What kind of mess is that, man? Huh? We the only nation who thinks like that. When Issachar, so-called Mexicans get in position, you know what they finish? Jose's in with them, brother. And putting that down, that's how it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
But we are scared.
Yeah.
We are scared. Right?
But that's proof that Mexican is Issachar, because if you look at the description of it, and they're working together. When they say what they call that rest, what they call that?
What you mean? Siesta.
Siesta. When they say siesta, every last one of them say siesta.
They sit it down.
Now black folk, when black folks say siesta, they'll say,
yeah,
I will.
Yeah.
Don't say that. So Mexicans are known to stick together.
That's right.
That's proven that they're Israel.
They had a major corporation out there
Remember
that got fired. Never, brother.
Yeah, there was a dumb reason why they fired this one Mexican. He was on video.
Yeah.
He walked out of set warehouse.
It was a warehouse.
You know how they talk with and another guy walked out, and then you can see Mexicans in the house that watched him, and they all start walking out one by one.
That's right.
That's Issachar. They will stick together.
That's right. Let me see something here, brother. Well, we just finished Amos. Right. So the disobedience that wasn't unto a covenant with any other nation. The only nation that he went into covenant with was the children of Israel when he brought us up out of Egypt. And I love that. One of the most beautiful stories in all the Bible. He came and rescued us, Brother Yahweh. He's not going to let us go. America ain't going to let us. So I want to throw this in here, okay? Understand this. World War III is not to be afraid. We're not to be scared of that. Because the Most High is going to use World War III to do what? To deliver the children of Israel out of captivity. And you can get that in Jeremiah 17, okay? Take that out on your own time. It's going to be called the Jacob, it's the time of Jacob. So now, Proverbs chapter 3. Proverbs chapter 3. The Most High is working for us, man. He is working for us. All our lives we have been told that we are nothing, that we ain't gonna amount to nothing. They even went as far as to say that they're from the jungles of Africa.
Yeah.
And civilized us. That's what they told us.
We're
Right?
not even from Africa. That's not even.
Come on now. Proverbs said that. What is
it? Despise not the chastening of the Lord, not weary of his.
Going through what we're going through because he is correcting us. He is correct. So when we're going through things in life, that's called fire. You know, the only way you're going to know what gold look like is you got to put it through fire. So there's no such thing as why me. When I came into this truth, I started understanding why not me. Because Ezra says that this world was made for many, but the world to come for few, which means that who to the kingdom of what? They'll be there by not using the of a higher.
That's very important, that part where you said the kingdom is for a few.
Mm-hmm.
And for you older people, that this is up to a lot of the older generation so they don't miss out. Because the kingdom is now when you say few, don't think of few as being a little.
That's right.
Because 2-3 million can be a few.
Right. Well,
think about
a few toward world population.
Yeah, and a billion that's already dead. So just understand when he said a few, is very important that you try to wake up from that Christianity garbage. And if you're trying to this Israelite move to this, don't push it aside. Really pay attention, because he has brought out a lot of scriptures proving who we are, Old and New Testament, and showing you that this stuff is not nailed to the cross. It's not done away with. So, and out of all this punishment, both sides still trying to bring us back and wake us up after all these years.
That's right, because we still got a work to do.
Yeah,
man. We still have a work to do, and I was thinking about that, brother Yahweh. Because we got so many Hebrews who feel like that the king for us, and I give all praises to Ahaya for allowing me to study my way out of that thought. Because when I came into it, I thought like that too.
Yeah,
I did, right? But we are so late in time right now. So for us that are high, like you and I, our brother Mike, you know, my Akiyams that I got in Dallas that I deal with in other places, he's up so that we can go Judas, right? But he's giving us to live righteous in front of these nations so that they can see as well. This is an opportunity for them as well to get on board, man. Because when you go to Zechariah, it tells you that other nations is a coattail of. They're going to say, I'm going to go with you because I heard that the God is with you. You see what I'm saying? So he is using us still in these last days for the sons of Ham and for the sons of Japheth to get it together. All praises to he can use this counted as world to save everybody, man. Because that's what we're counted as, bro. We're counted as nothing, right? So let's get back to Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 1 and 2. Let's read that, man. Let's try to get through these real quick. Deuteronomy chapter 28, 1 and 2. You all right, brother?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay.
To pass, if thou shalt be unto the voice of the Lord thy God, serve and to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all the nations of the earth.
Yes. Keep reading.
And all these blessings shall come on thee and overtake thee, if thou shalt hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
All of these blessings will overtake us, dealt with the last 3 quarters of Deuteronomy chapter 28. So I encourage you that if this is your first time hearing about this, go and read the entire chapter. You will see how to be blessed. If I wanted to buy a house, I would have to go through Edom to buy that house. If I want a job, Edom to buy a job. If I need a loan, I have to go through Edom to get a loan. But when you look at how we were supposed to be, brother, if we had a heart to the voice of the Most High, all nations would have came to us for everything. We would be teaching the nations in our schools. We would be selling houses to other nations from our economy. Other nations will come to us and loan money, and because the way our laws are set up, right, if you be a brother of Israel, I loan you money, you just got to pay me back what I loan you. Right. But another nation, I'm going to charge him tax. You know what I'm saying? The system went up. So the whole order, because which was supposed to be on top, bottom, and don't even know who they are.
Yeah. And at one time, all the nations did come to us.
That's right.
They came to us. That's how they learned their
right.
own nation. Because we were Canaan. I think it was under King
right.
Solomon. Them days came to us for everything. Ideas, mathematics.
That's right.
How to build.
That's right.
And when they took that idea, and after we fell, what they learned from us, that's how they built their nation.
That's
over
right.
in Saudi Arabia, Middle East, England, here. Everything.
And then they lied and said they give all the credit to the Grecians, and all that, like Hebrew literature, none of that, man. Yeah, the only thing you ever hear about Hebrew is when you read your Bible, and because they have taken away our heritage from us. I would tell you, when I was in the Christian church, I had no idea what these people were supposed to look like in the Bible. I was making myself believe in people that I couldn't even put a face to, bro. You understand what I'm saying? So when I came into a knowledge that I'm the people, now I know what everybody. I know how people think. I know how Judah act. You see, right? It's the whole dynamics of the whole book, bro. The whole dynamics of the whole book.
And I thought it was Middle Eastern people because Esau taught us that.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
Like Christ's people and the people of the book were more of the Saudi Arabia.
You know, there's no such thing as the Middle East, too. I want to put that out there. Yeah. Middle East is Northeast Africa. Yeah. That's what the Middle East is. See, all of this stuff that they are doing by changing names of places and locations and stuff, all of this is to keep the seed of Jacob in blindness, to keep you in blindness. But once we start waking up, that was the worst thing that could have happened to Edom. Because man, look here. Well, we start opening up books and more books and more books. And it was like an onion. Every layer was just coming unfolded. And we was like, wow. Yeah. Are you serious? You lied about that too? You lied about that too? You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So right now I'm at a point where nothing surprises me no more, man. You know? Nothing surprises me. Let's go back to the Apocrypha, the book of Baruch. The book of a nation above all nations. Yes, indeed. Yeah, chapter 3, verse 10 through 13. We're going to stay in Baruch for a minute, too.
Okay. Hear Israel.
Chapter 3, verse 10.
Baruch 3:10.
What does it say? How happened it?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Nice. How happeneth it, Israel, that thou art in thine enemy's land?
So the question I forgot to ask is, how do we get in this mess that we're in? Because we're clearly in a mess, right? Keep reading.
That thou waxen old in a strange country,
Mm-hmm.
that thou art with the dead,
Yes.
that it with them that go down into the grave.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm lost at this point as far as understanding.
Oh, I'm gonna break it down.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Thou hast forsaken the fountain of wisdom,
Mm-hmm.
hast walked in the way of God.
Brother, how would I say got a little confused here? So the question I ask is, how do we get in this mess? How happened it? That's the question. This is what. How did it happen? Now, Baruch was prophesied during the time Israel went into Babylonian captivity. Judah, when Judah went into Babylonian captivity, the temple destroyed, houses had been burned down, been misplaced. They had seen their king get killed before them, right? So Baruch is asking, how did all of this happen? Now, the thing about prophecy is this, and I don't know if a lot of people know this or understand this. When the Most High used his prophets, he would give them a prophet for then, that relative to that moment, prophecies were reaching to a time as well. Prophets always gave dual prophet. So Baruch was at time relevant to us. We are still in a mess. So how did it happen, black folks? That's how I'm gonna ask that question. How did it happen, Negro? How did it happen, so-called African American, that thou art in thy enemy's land? You got to first understand that you are in a strange land. That's why you're not going to get me to go vote. Vote for what? Did you vote? Brother, I'm not going to vote. First of all, in our law, the Most High say that we should have no strange nation above us. Okay, my king is. It is a higher. X 14 and 15. So I'm not going to go to Edomites to reign over me or to protect me, because I don't trust. So how is strange waxing in a strange country? Look at us, man. Look at us. Our children, they have no direction. We are waxing old in a strange country. They're babies, brother. And before they even 3 years old, they done had about 200 different vaccinations.
Yeah.
We are waxing old, strange country. October, November, December, January, running promo ads on TV to go get your flu shot, so that they can pump you full of poisons. We are waxing old in a strange country.
All that was designed because of the Hebrew DNA.
That's right. You can go outside clear day and look, jet fly by, long trail behind them, which is full of aluminum and beryllium. We are waxing old in a strange country. How did all of this happen? It says, for if thou had walked in the way of the Most High, thou should dwell how? In peace. Forever.
And here's another thing for you men that's watching this. If you go back in time and see different flu shots that they're giving children now, and you look at us today, one thing a black man never had a problem with was ED.
That's right.
Now all of a sudden it's really getting worse now, and they got it for it. But Hebrews, especially the black man, we've never had problems.
And our women never had problems with giving birth to our babies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or that secretion. It's something that a woman has in her body. Estrogen.
Oh, estrogen. That's
problem.
right.
They never,
like we got testosterone.
Sister never had estrogen problems.
That's right.
So all these shots started coming.
That's right. Matter of fact, you go back in Exodus, you will see when Pharaoh made the decree to kill all of the male kids. The handmaids couldn't keep up with the women. They ain't like us Egyptians. They having too many babies and having them too fast. You see? Did you get to the part in Jubilees where the Most High was protecting our babies during that time? Have you got to that yet in Jubilees?
During the time of Egypt,
Mm-hmm.
I think I passed.
You passed? So out of all going through, he still is not counted us off as a people.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna read that. That's gonna be the last verse that I read when I close this thing out. That's gonna be in Jeremiah.
And you compare this to those Sunday ministers. He had pulled out so much that this stuff is not done away. We are still God's people because they teaching that.
That's right.
That the Hebrew Israelites were done away with.
That's right. And I'm gonna show you in the scripture, there's no way that the Hebrew Israelite could be done away with. Let's give Baruch chapter 2, verse 1 through 5, brother.
2, 1 through 5. Therefore, the Lord has made good his word.
Now, I forgot to mention, the Most High not that if I do something, I might not do it. He mean what he say. Now, we done seen in two different places, Leviticus chapter 26 and in Deuteronomy chapter 28, he said, if you don't follow my commandments, you break my covenant, this is what's going to happen to you, right? So continue reading, brother.
Therefore, the Lord has made good his word, which he pronounced against us and against our judges that judge Israel and against our kings and against our princes and against the men of Israel and Judah. Keep going.
Keep going.
To bring upon us such as never under the whole as in Jerusalem, according to the things that were written in the law of Moses.
And that's where we been the majority of the time in this lesson in the laws that was given to Moses. And we see that we are in a destitute over here. Love us, man. The only son of us is a higher. That's it. A president that black people held in high regard, and so much to the point that they said that he was the first black president was Clinton. Go and watch 13 to see how much Clinton loved you black people. Handedly, a lot of so-called Afros than any other has ever seen. Wife is a witch, afraid to say it. They both a witch and a warlock. And they served by all.
She's a follower of Margaret Sanger.
That's right. And you know who Margaret Sanger is? Explain, bro.
Margaret Sanger came up with the idea of killing off black babies. Today, you call it Planned Parenthood.
That. See? And they also Alex. You don't know who that time.
No,
they are all followers of Alex Rowe.
Alice Crowley. Dig up an old photo of Alice Crowley and look up George Bush's grandmother.
Okay.
Look up George Bush too.
That's right.
If you dig up that story, I'm gonna leave that where it is.
I know the story as well. So when you look at the situation that we are in and you ask yourself why is it that we are stuck in ghettos and look, I remember when the Vietnamese people came to this country. I told you this story one time, dear to me, because I know when they came to the projects of every city, but they were not there alone. You can't buy a donut in Texas without buying it from a Vietnamese. You can barely get your clothes clean if you ain't getting them cleaned by one of them Asians. You see? So the stranger that will come into the land that he scattered us will rise above us, and we done already been there. Was that not one of the curses in Deuteronomy 28? Right. See? So quit asking yourself why you and get back to them laws. It's because you shall the earth. Okay? And that's what the promise is. Let's give Baruch chapter 1, verse 19.
And just to add to that, when you come back to the laws, you'd be surprised how things change in your life.
That's right.
In your personal
That's
life.
right. Baruch chapter 19. I mean, yeah, 1. Chapter 1.
1, okay.
Yeah, 1 verse 19.
Okay. Since the day that the Lord brought our forefathers out of the land of Egypt unto this present day, we have been disobedient unto the Lord our God, and we have been negligent in not hearing his voice.
Look at us right now, man. How many times have we told y'all that Christmas is a pagan holiday, but yet you still got trees in your house? And we can take you to Jeremiah and show you where the Bible talk about that heathen tree. You still go spend money to suits, training our children to pass through the fires of Molech. Since the days we came out of Egypt, we have been disobedient to this present day. You want to keep going to church on Sunday, these pastors preaching. We have been disobedient to this present day. Let's give Baruch chapter 2 and verse 5, brother.
Thus we were cast down and not exalted, because we have sinned against the Lord our God and have not been obedient unto his voice.
So you see why we not on top like we supposed to be? You understand now why we're at the bottom where we're not supposed to be? The judges have been cut. We are the judges that even knew. We have been cast down and not exalted because we have sinned against the higher power. It makes sense now?
Explain the faces of judges.
The faces of the judges
have been covered.
When he chose us, when he gave us his laws, we were to bring forth righteous judgment in the earth. You can get that in Isaiah. That's going to be from us who we are. We don't know, right? So therefore, when they covered our faces, which are the judges of the earth, that allowed them to do what? Set their law in place.
And I'll add to that, covered it is also changing what we look like in this Bible.
That too.
That's why you have this white Jesus and this white Joseph.
That's right.
And all the characters that's in this scripture that were Hebrew.
That's right.
You now see them as Esau.
As white people.
Right. So when you read and think of these scriptures, you thinking of Esau.
That's right.
That's covering the faces.
Which one did we read? Okay, check this out. Can you see that? Can you see that back there? So there is no doubt that the so-called African American is cast down low. So I'm going to bring out some current situations that is happening to us, okay? To prove everything that we've been talking about is true.
Flint, Michigan, hundreds of gallons of toxic raw sewage dumped into this river as residents were forced to drink.
They was forced to drink this.
A few months after Governor Snyder removed Flint from the clean, fresh water they had been drinking for decades, the brass from General Motors went to him and complained that the Flint River water was causing their car parts to corrode.
Stop right there, brother. Flint, Michigan is highly populated and densely populated by the so-called African American Negro. They used to have clean water. They don't have clean water no more. I done lost count on this being since Flint done had clean water. Now, General Motors got a plant there that shares the same water that the residents of Flint, Michigan share. The bad water that they are forcing the people of Flint to drink, it was causing the parts of General Motors car parts to corrode. He went to the mayor and said, hey, you know, this water is causing me to lose inventory. Now we talking about lives of people and car parts, okay? The people of Flint, Michigan, I want you to know they are still drinking bad water. Keep reading, brother.
The road, when being washed, the governor was appalled to hear that General Motors property was being damaged.
He was appalled that General Motors property was being damaged. He wasn't appalled of the people drinking that bad water, brother. Huh? Keep reading, man.
So he jumped through a number of hoops and quietly spent $440,000 to hook General Motors back up to the lake water while keeping the regulation on the Flint River.
Now you let that sink in. You let that sink in. Think about that. $450,000 to put General Motors back on clean water so that their parts would not be ruined, but the population, which is so-called Africans, continue to drink bad water.
So if General Motors had never had that problem, people would still be drinking water. It would have never been brought to the attention.
That's right.
If General Motors had never complained.
If General Motors had never complained.
And this governor is getting away with that?
He's getting away with it. Remember, not long ago, they were trying to bring him up on murder charges, but it wasn't sticking. Yeah. You know why? Because we're going to go to it. Let's go to Wisdom of Solomon chapter 2 and 11. You just asked, how is this legal? Let's go to Wisdom of Solomon chapter 2 and verse 11, man. Yes, indeed.
Let our strength be the law of justice.
That's right.
For that which is feeble is found to be nothing worth.
That which is feeble, that which is poor, that which don't have anything, no money, no economy, everything that you have, we got to give it to you. We're going to make the law be our strength and justice. So therefore, this is how that governor can get away with that. We're going to leave them black folks on that bad water, man. And we're going to make it legal for us to do it. You know, white people have changed the game up in the middle of the game in a quick. They'll change it up in the middle of the game quick. They're going to make sure that they don't lose, Brother Yahweh. So it is clear that the same people whom we knew were our enemies in the early 19th century are the same people who are our enemies in this 21st century. But we have forgotten that. More evidence of the real Jews from the Bible. Let's go to Isaiah 4 and verse 22.
If the governor of California allowed that to happen.
That's Flint, Michigan.
Yeah. If the governor of California had allowed that to happen in California, and
man,
I mean, this governor purposely did this. I can't believe it.
Yeah.
If that happened in California, those people in Beverly Hills got some bad.
That's right. That's right. So they go to tell you, man, that where we at don't nothing belong to us, right? Don't nothing belong to us. Isaiah, bro.
Oh, Isaiah.
Yeah.
It's still showing the hate for us.
That's right.
We are hated.
So we gotta come to understand that we have a natural enemy. Am I correct? That's what Christianity has done. It took me away from us, man. The Bible tells us clear that Amalek would always be an enemy to all the way up until the end, brother. Isaiah chapter 42 and verse 22. What more evidence of the real Jews from the Bible?
22.
Verse 42 and 22.
But this is a people robbed and spoiled.
Con.
They are all of them snared in holes.
That's right.
And they are hid in prison houses.
That's right.
They are for a prey and delivered for none.
They are hid, brother. In prison. So many states have private prisons, and guess who populate those prisons? Guess who populate those prisons? That's right, the so-called African American Negro. We populate those prisons. There's more of us in prisons than there were slaves during the time of slavery. Let that sink in. Let that sink in. And you don't want to believe that we are the people of this book? Don't no other nation fit these curses. When I got to reading these curses, that automatically eliminated the white Jews that's over there in Northeast Africa. Y'all can't be it because y'all rich. Y'all got everything. Y'all own everything. You own CNN. You own NBC and ABC. You kill black people that try to buy it because you don't want them to have it. We are stored in prison houses. What that say, brother, right there? Under the anti-drug.
Start with men?
Start with
under
the anti-drug.
Okay.
Let me see if I can blow that up for you.
There you go.
Yeah.
They don't get no.
All right, there you go.
Under the Anti-Drug Abuse Act of 1986.
And what the Anti-Drug Abuse Act was is when they said war on drugs. That's what it was. And I want to make this real quick. It's funny to me that in 1986, if you were a drug user or a drug dealer, they treated you harshly. But in the 21st century, all of these white people hooked on opiates, they calling it a sickness. Have you noticed that, brother? They calling it a sickness. You know what I'm saying? But keep reading, brother.
And they developed pills to help.
Right.
Powder cocaine users, overwhelmingly white, would have to be caught in possession of 100 times the quantity of crack.
Okay.
A very potent pelletized cocaine smoked at the time mostly by city-dwelling blacks. To be subject to the same legal penalty.
So that means I could get caught with a dime rock. I'm gonna get more time than my white counterpart that get caught with maybe an ounce or more of a powder cocaine.
You have to be 100 times more.
You see? Ain't that crazy? Ain't that crazy?
Yeah.
So who is the war on? Did you see? It's not on them white people. It's on who? The so-called African American Negro. Am I right? Can you read?
This devious legislation engineered the wholesale population shift of black men into the prison labor camps of white America.
They are stored in the prison houses. We just read that.
By 1990, the proportion of blacks admitted to the 4,575 state, the federal prisons rose from 39 to 53%. Blacks accounted for 88.3% of crack distribution convictions.
Where that crack come from, man? Have you grown any coca leaves in your backyard? Huh? I don't even think cocaine could grow over. Where did the crack come from, bro? Keep reading.
Even though the majority of crack users by this time were white.
Never knew that, did you? Never knew that, did you? They never told you that, just like the majority of welfare recipients are white. They'll make you believe that it's us. Don't keep reading, brother.
In 2005, 4 out of 5 drug arrests were for possession, not trafficking. And 80% of the increase in drug arrests in 1990 was for marijuana.
Mm.
In 2012, there were more black men in prison or jail on probation or parole than were enslaved in America in 1850.
You hear that? I just told you that, did I not? There was more African American Negroes in jail than there were slaves in what year?
1850.
In 1850. The Bible just told you that his children will be thrown into prison houses. Read that one more again, brother. Over there, Isaiah.
But this is a people robbed and spoiled. They are all of them snared and hold, and they are hid in prison houses. They are for a prey, and none delivereth for a spoil, and none saith restore.
Huh.
They are for a prey.
They are
For you
what?
older cats that's watching this, you remember before 1964, and when we was put in those prison houses, who came at night to get one out
That's right.
to hang on a tree?
That's right.
Even if we were not guilty or what you call a trumped up charge, and they will put a lot of us in prison in those days, 20s, 30s, and 40s. But here come the KKK. If they wanted a nigga to hang, they went to the prison house to get one.
That's right. That's
Or
right.
they'll set you up and put you in prison on a trumped up charge.
That's
you can
right.
be an athlete, anybody.
That's right.
That's how they got you.
And they haven't changed today. They just do it a little bit more diplomatically.
Yeah.
But they do the same thing
Yeah.
today.
If,
They just hung their young brother in his mama's backyard, man.
yeah.
Because she was an activist. I don't know if you read the story or not, but she's an activist there, right?
Mhm.
So they mad at her. So we not gonna touch you, but we gonna touch your fruit, and we gonna hang it from a tree.
Yeah.
See, that's what they do, man. So since we know that we are in a land of captivity now, the question to ask now is, how have we messed? The question to ask now is, have we messed up beyond repair? Can we fix this thing, Brother Yahweh? Can it be fixed? Can it be fixed?
If you're speaking of fix as far as getting out of this, I say no.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing we can do is wake up, and I say no because we don't own anything. Remember, you're still in the strange land. So even if you wake up and understand who you are, you still have to watch yourself because your employer is who? Esau.
Mm.
So it cannot be fixed until Yeshua comes.
That's
He's
right.
the one that's going to gather us, take us back to our homeland, and put us in a position where we should have been hundreds of years ago.
That's right. Thousands of years ago, right?
Yeah.
Thousands. Let's get to Isaiah 54. And let's see how the Most High deal with us. We see he is not shy about pulling his belt out. He's not shy about pulling his belt out and whooping us in front of the people. One thing I want you to understand too is that he never sent us over here to be comfortable. That's why the Black Panther Party was unsuccessful. That's why the Crips and the Bloods was unsuccessful, because a lot of people look at Crips and Bloods now as just gangs on the street.
Yeah.
But these was organizations that were started to protect our people in our neighborhoods, both Crips and Bloods, and also the vice lords that's up north.
Mm-hmm.
They was infiltrated by the CIA and the FBI and turned our people against our people. So it was never meant for us to be comfortable over here. This is open correction here, okay?
All the civil rights marches, none of that was success.
None of that stuff was success.
You know?
None of it. Because the Hayat was not going to allow it to be. We are the smartest people on the earth. So if it was meant for us to be comfortable, you best believe we done figured this thing out by now. Why we still not comfortable is because the Most High is not allowing us to be comfortable. Okay? Isaiah chapter 54, verse 7 through 10. What does it say, brother?
For a small moment have I forsaken thee, but with great mercies will I gather thee.
You see that, people?
There it is.
As Brother Yahweh say to you old schools, you have seen a lot. You have seen things that I've never seen in this country. You know what it is to have to drink water from a colored only water fountain. I don't know what that's like. You know what it's like when you had to go to only segregated schools, and then when they integrated it, how you was treated when you went through those schools. Some of you brothers know what it means to have to get off the sidewalk to let a white person pass by because they are on their way. You see what I'm saying?
I got some of them stories.
You see?
Not just white person. Some of them were just children.
Right.
And it would be like, if it's a road, it would be muddy, especially the 20s. And you know how you have water on the side of the sidewalk?
Mm-hmm.
If a black person was walking and had on white shoes, that black person had to get off that sidewalk for that 10-year-old white child can walk by.
A grown man or a grown woman got to
Yes,
get off the sidewalk and get dirty so a white child can walk by. And that was law.
I remember them stories.
That was law. See, I don't remember that, but I've heard the stories. Okay. So again, the Most High said what at the beginning of Isaiah 57 and 7 and 10? What did he say?
57.
50, you was already there. 50, chapter 57. Oh, it's flipped. 57 verse 7. What does it say?
57. Upon a lofty and highly mountain.
Oh, I'm sorry. 54.
54.
Yeah, I'm sorry, brother.
Okay.
Where was that? Yeah.
Okay. For a small moment have I forsaken thee.
For a small moment. And it seemed like eternity, man. We've been going through what we're going through for a long time. You got to understand that 1,000 years to a higher is, that's it, right? He says, for a small moment. I'm telling you, don't let these preachers tell you that Israel was done away with. Listen to how he's talking to them.
Yeah.
For a small moment have I forsaken thee. But what, brother?
But with great mercies will I gather thee.
Keep reading.
In a little wrath I hid my face.
Oh, yeah, he was mad at us. That's what wrath means. He was mad, brother. And what did he do when he got mad? He what? Hid his face. Did he not? Keep going.
For a moment, but with everlasting kindness will I have mercy on thee, saith the Lord thy Redeemer.
He is our Redeemer, not the Christian church. He is our Redeemer.
I like that.
Go ahead. With all the nonsense that we've been through in this country, and even our northern tribe brothers, the stuff that they go through, he says, with loving kindness, I'm gonna have mercy on you. Speaks to us just like a lover, just like a father. Matter of fact, that's what my kids say every time we read this. He says he's like the ultimate father. I'm like, yeah, he is. He's going to reward you when you do good, and he's going to spank that butt when you do bad. But he's always going to let you know that I love you. I remember my mom used to tell me, brother, I never understood till I had my own kids. When she got ready to whoop me, it's going to hurt me more than it hurt you. Not for 1 minute do you not think that the Most High is not grieving when he see us going through what we going through. It is breaking his heart.
Yeah.
It's breaking his heart. Continue to, oh, you had something you want to add, brother. Go ahead.
I lost it.
Okay, go ahead. Keep reading.
For this is as the waters of Noah unto me. For as I have sworn that the waters of Noah should no more go over the earth.
That's right.
So have I sworn that I would not be wroth with thee, nor rebuke thee. I know what I was going to say. This right here, what I'm reading, it knocks it out of the park with these camps telling people they're gonna die for little stuff,
right?
Like hair or no beard,
right?
Or married to a white person,
right?
All of this,
right?
You gonna die, you gonna die, you gonna die, and all that mess. This knocks this clean out of the ballpark.
Right. That's right. That's right.
Keep reading.
Yes, sir.
For the mountains shall depart, and the hills be removed, but my kindness shall not depart from thee.
You hear that, man? A mountain may depart, a hill may be removed, but you, Jacob, he said, my kindness shall not depart from thee.
This is not to everybody.
This is not to everybody.
Christians that's hearing this, he's not talking about the world.
He's not talking to the Christian church either. He's talking to the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. He who he is correcting, that's who he is talking to. Finish that one out, brother.
For the mountains shall be depart and the hills be removed, but
You all right? Oh,
my kindness shall not depart from thee, neither shall the covenant of my peace be removed.
That's
saith the
right.
Lord that hath mercy on thee.
the covenant that he made with us is always going to be there. Always going to be there. We got a few more, we're going to be finished. We got Proverbs chapter 3 and 12.
I like these. This a good one here.
Oh, praises,
Oh, man.
Oh, praises.
Great mercy.
Oh, praise. You got it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, Proverbs?
Proverbs chapter 3. Nah, I thought you needed another highlighter.
Oh, yeah, this is running out.
Okay.
Yeah, it sure is.
It's smaller, but it'll work.
Three.
Verse 12.
For whom the Lord loveth, he corrected,
Con.
even as a father the son in whom he delighteth.
So we seeing all these other nations out here that's being disobedient to a higher, and it seems like that they got everything. That's because they don't belong to him. Okay, don't get it twisted and think that they are getting away with anything, because they are not. Okay, but whom a higher loveth, he chastised. So he's not going to let us do whatever we want to do and think that we're going to get away with. Okay. You got parents that let their kids do anything, but I done told you not to go. And let me find out that you went. When I get my hands on you, you're going to wish that you did not go. While that child could do whatever they want to do. You see? So who the Most High loveth, he corrected, even as a father the son in whom he delighted. Okay? So the Most High, he loves you. This is why you are going through the things that you are going through. I'm going to precept this. I'm going to keep this going while Brother Yahweh I stepped out. We're going to go to the book of Baruch, chapter 3, verse 7 and 8. Verse 7 says, and for this cause thou hast put thy fear in our hearts, to the intent that we should call upon thy name and praise thee in our land of captivity. This is what's happening. This is why I am here before you right now as a Hebrew Israelite and not as a so-called African American Negro. I'm here before you because the Most High, his fear in my heart, and I am now calling upon his name in my land of captivity, because he said that we were going to come back to the heritage that he gave to us way back in Deuteronomy chapter 32. For we have called to mind the iniquity of our forefathers that sinned before thee. Behold, we are yet this day in our captivity, where thou hast scattered us for reproach and a curse, and to be subject to payments according to all the iniquities of our fathers which departed from a higher power. So everything that we're going through is righteous. He told us. Go back and read Leviticus chapter 26. Go back and read Deuteronomy 28 and 16. Go back and read it. He warned us that if we fall away from the covenant that he has made with us, these are the things that are going to happen. We are now in the last days of the prophet Daniel. Daniel chapter 12, verse 4 through 10. But thou, O Daniel, shut up the words and seal the book even to the time of the end. This is where we're at. It says, many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall be increased. There is no excuse for people not knowing who they are in today's time. We are in the day of Google. We got Google boxes talking to us now. Alexia, how hot is it outside? See? We don't even have to type in information no more. They get it so now to a point where you can think in it and it's going to ask you, right? In the day, that's how you know that we are in the last days, because knowledge is increasing. Then I, Daniel, looked, and behold, there stood other two, the one on this side of the bank and the other on the river, and the other on that side of the bank of the river. And one said to the man clothed in linen, which was upon the water of the rivers, how long shall it be to the end of these wonders? And I heard the man clothed in linen, which was upon the waters of the river, when he had held his right hand and his left hand in heaven, and swear by him that liveth forever, that there should be a time and a half, and when he shall have accomplished to scatter the power of the holy people, all these things shall be finished. And I heard, but I understood not. Daniel did not understand. Oh, my power, what shall be the end of these things? And he said, go thy way, Daniel, for the words are closed up and sealed to the time of the end. Many shall be purified. The truth that we are spreading out here, it's going to purify many and made white and tried, but the wicked shall do wickedly. You can't get mad when they don't understand this truth, when they don't want to continue to do, and when they don't do the things that the Most High asked them. And none of the wicked shall understand. So when people don't understand the truth that we are giving them, that's because they have a wicked heart. They shall understand. So with this harsh public display of punishment, the Most High knew in these last days that we would get it right. And we can find that in Baruch chapter 2, 32 through 33. And they shall praise me in the land of their captivity, and look upon my name and return from their stiff neck and from their wicked deeds. But they shall remember the way of their fathers with sin before Ahijah. This is Shear Yeshua, but remnant shall return, or remnant shall be left. My brother Yehowadah, we just brought to you a nation above all nations. So if you did not believe that the Most High has created a people and put them above all people, now you have seen in the word for yourself. So never again let a pastor tell you, never again let a pastor tell you that Israel done away with, because we are not. But we have seen that a mountain can be moved or a hill could be moved, but his love will never change. Barakatah, Wa Shalom, bless you in peace. This is 2 parts of the 3 Hebrews. We have brought to you a lesson that was entitled A Nation of All Nations. You have anything you want to add, brother?
This is man, this was a good one. And wow, no way you can be in doubt. Like I said earlier, that all of this is done away with and nailed to the cross. Because I noticed I got that bad. You know, she's hanging on to that nail to the cross mess. And even at our other brother's dad's funeral,
right?
The older generation there, their mind is stuck on what was beaten into us during slavery.
That's right.
And that so much of this, and that these people is not. I don't see how in the world can you not see that this is us, the punishment, the curses,
That's
the
right.
things that we are going through. Your children having a tough time in college. All these are curses showing
That's
you
right.
that we are actually the tribe of Judah.
That's right.
Okay, we are Judah here in America. This is where they brought us. Africa is not our homeland.
That's right.
I'm sorry. And the reason why Esau pushes black people being from Africa, because they want to nail that Hamite because of what was in the Zondervan Bible Dictionary under Ham being the father of the dark races.
Right.
But they don't keep reading because it says, but not the Negro.
Not the
So that's
Negro.
why they sit there, and so many of us, since we don't read, we stuck on that Africa being our homeland, wearing the attire. And you know, the African attire that you're wearing is actually Hebrew.
That's right.
Just show how we don't read, and we don't understand where this stuff come from. But Israel is actually our homeland. We was ran out of Israel into Africa.
That's right.
For 1,250 years, and then what's his name? Christopher Columbus came and brought us here. The majority of Judah is here. Now you got some in England and other places also. Right. But the majority of us are right here. And you people got, you black folks, you got to wake up, man. I have never been so shocked and surprised and proud to understand that there's no such thing as African American. Right. I didn't know what to do. I got a half-breed daughter in Germany that's also a Hebrew Israelite, and it hurts me to my heart to hear her say she's a mixed child. Right. I mean, it tears me apart. Right. But she's not mixed. Her father is a Judite. I am from the tribe of Judah. Right. That's right. So you got to wake up. I want to go. I love the old school because they're the hardest to talk to. But I got a lot of old stories in my mind that y'all went through also, so I can relate. So give these young Israelites a chance and listen to them, because all they're doing is trying to wake you up. They're not trying to embarrass you or nothing like that. They just it's really the Most High is using them children. That's right. And through the children, He would wake up His people. That's scripture. That's right. Through the youth. That's right. Just give them a chance, and if you listen to them, you go back and read the scriptures again as a Hebrew and not no doggone African American Christian or Christian. That's right. That's the religion. We are of no religion. Fine. This is a lifestyle. This is a lifestyle. The laws was given to us. We don't need religion. That's right. We need to wake up and come back to our God, the God of the Hebrews, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Let me hear you say your founding fathers are George Washington and what the other Andrew Jackson and all that mess. We have our own founding fathers. Right. We are of Jacob, and it's easy to prove because you old school is up in your 70s and 80s. You go back in the 70s and look how we used to walk. That's right. Go look at that old Superfly movie. And look at how Jacob got his hip broke. Right. We still walk with that limp today. Some Mexicans do. That's right. We got that bad. We got a limp. That's right. You know, like you know, it looked like a cool walk, but it actually it's not. That came from Jacob getting his hip broke. That's right. From the angel. See, Christianity don't go that deep. Right. Them laws, we got to come back to them laws, statutes, commandments. And you can do it in this day and time. This is 2018. And I always say we are not in Rome. You don't have to do everything they did in Rome, because you walk around here in them Roman garments, you know, laws may just pull you over. You can live like as a Hebrew. You can cut out the pork, the dietary law. It's not hard. And if it is hard for you because you've been living so long, just try to wean yourself off. The scripture, that's why I love that scripture you brought out about mercy. Wean yourself off until you can stop it. You know, and whatever you're doing, even if it's sexual thoughts, you know, just shake your head and ask the Most High to help you. We're still human. We're not God. At one time we were close, but not now, because we are cursed, and we wake up in the curse. We born in this curse. Right. So you have to ask the Most High to help you with a lot of things. Right. But most of all, understand, you black folks, you are Hebrew Israelites from the tribe of Judah. And if some Mexicans watching this, you are from the tribe of Issachar. Right. Which ones Issachar? It's not for me to determine. The Most High does. Right. We're just here as the three Hebrew boys. One of our other brothers is not here. All we want to do is wake you up. We're not asking you for no fee, no money. We're not trying to start no church. We don't need nothing from you. We just want you to listen. That's all. Our God is a higher, a higher. I am that I am.
That's right.
Not Yah. Yah means higher power, and that's it.
Right.
We have our God. Other nations have their God. It's
Right.
in scriptures. Read it. Read it. It's in scriptures. When we left the Tower of Babel, we went to 70 different nations according to each race. But Eber stayed and kept the Hebrew language. And that's how we came out of that bloodline. Eber. That's where Hebrew come from. Eber. On down to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. It's a bloodline that the Most High followed. Of course, Abraham had other sons, yes, but only one was of the promise. And because we don't listen, here we are. Stuck. No job, or can't get a job. Educated, can't get a job. In and out of marriages, 4, 5, 6 marriages. And you sisters, with that blonde mess on your head, that's a curse. You black as an ace of spades, you walk around with a blonde wig.
Yes, indeed.
You got anything now?
Yeah, I'm good.
I love this lesson. Until we see you again, we'll make another one coming soon. I got a feast for us that we need to get to. I can smell it.
Done. All praises to Ahaya Barakatah Washalom. Bless you in peace. This is Yeshua and my brother Yahweh. Yahweh Simcha. Y'all have a good one. All right.